Welcome to the top 8 of the Meta Weekly, mate. Like, comment, subscribe, support the video as you've been doing, and we're going to keep on doing it. Thank you very much. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Blackwings in the top 8. That's right. We're going to small world this up. We're going to bridge with the Kaiju grabbing our Simoon. They do have Max C, though. We have Ash to stop the Max C. Max C being chained to the Simoon, even though it is not a special summon. It's just an additional summon here. Grabbing the Sudri. And, you know, that could be a really bad idea to Max C in response to the Simoon, because if they have a Gamma, Gamma negates with no monsters on the field, mate, and the Simoon was not special summoning. We don't have to worry about that. Sudri with the Black Whirlwind, grabbing the Vata and the Shamel. Shamel's going to put up into the field a Black Feather Whirlwind. Shamel's going to be banished also. Probably want to save Bestial for the Zephyros. So this is the benefit of Blackwings, is your opponent's not going to really know what your choke points are unless they play the deck. And then we're going to use the effect to summon the Chinook from the graveyard, which can negate a monster on the field. And we got the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. Let's talk about this field. Holy moly. This is pretty much a first turn kill. Triple Blackwing Assault Dragon is minus 2100 life points per monster effect activation. And then we have Chinook, which could send itself to the graveyard to negate a monster on the field. We have Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, which could negate any card in the field. We have Twin Shadow, which could summon a Silver Wind, which could pop 2 monsters on the field. And do we have a Sharnga in the graveyard? I do not think so. That's it. That's it. All right, let's go. Chaos Space, discard a Dark, add a Light between 4 and 8. Lubellion is going to be triggering the triple Assault Dragon, burning for 2100 damage here. We can only activate one more monster effect, and that's it. You're done. You can't activate any more monster effects. You activate another one, you die. Full Armor Master is also summonable with the Twin Shadow if you don't want to pop 2 monsters on the field. Yeah, he's just scooping. He's scooping, not activating another one. Just like that, Blackwing in the top 8 with the first turn kill. Chaos Space, discard a Dark, grab the Light. We got the Max C, mate, but the Crossout Designate will negate you attempting to draw per special summon. Totally not cool. What did we accomplish? We could spin a card back to the hand. We could negate a card on the field. We could link off into a Unicorn to spin a card back. We pretty much have just 3 disruptions. Chinook can spell speed 1, just target a card in the field and negate it. That's it, negated. We have Simoon banishing a Blackwing to grab our Black Whirlwind. The Regained is going to be triggered to summon a Magna Huff from the graveyard. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is going to be negating the Black Whirlwind for the entire turn. Now, even though the seal is negated from spinning a card back, it still has an additional effect. We'll get to that in a bit. Baldrake banishing the Boreas Storm. And let's go. Boreas Storm was sent there with the Chinook. Now, the Heretic Seal will be activating on a separate chain to summon a dragon from the deck. Probably a Druid Swarm, right? Magna Hut activating to search during the end phase as we summon a dragon from the deck, which will be our Druid Swarm to be used with the Masquerena. Black Whirlwind negated for the full turn. Full Armor Master unaffected by a lot of stuff, just completely unaffected by other card effects, but you could still make a Goddess. No Goddess? No Goddess. What? Where's the Goddess? Wiping out the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. And goodbye to the Black Whirlwind, burn for 1000 during the end phase. We have Leveneer is here. We could just swing over it, so you know that's fine. Not a big deal. Negate our own monster, summon a Rocket from the grave. Gaining a wedge counter, which is nothing. Banishing the Simoon, come forth, battle. The unstoppable, unaffected full armor is gone. It just like that, with 12,000 damage on the field, we have lethal damage. Dragon Link taking out Blackwings for game 2. Full armor. As you saw from game 1, this is pretty much a first turn kill. We're going to negate a monster, negate any card in the field, banish a monster activating. Triple Assault Dragon's going to be 2100 damage on every monster effect activation. We have Sharnga in the graveyard that's not activatable yet, but if we Twin Shadow into a Blackwing Synchro, it could pop any face-up card in the field, in addition to the Twin Shadow popping 2 face-up monsters on the field. So we got like 6 disruptions. Let's go. Regained and Call by the Grave onto the Chinook, stopping the 1 from the hand. It makes sense. Maybe we want to chain Twin Shadow to return it back in the deck to stop that from happening. Safer into the Striker Dragon. If this activates, we're going to start burning. 2100 damage. How many more activations do we have? We can only do 2 more. That's it. 2 more. The third one, we're dead. Chaos Space searching for the Collapsed Serpent. Twin Shadow's going to pop both of these monsters. That's what I'm thinking. Returning to make a level 8 Synchro. This is it. Silver Wind on summon. Goodbye to Tracer. Goodbye to Recharger. Wipe it up. Shamel activating to grab back the Sudri. That is nothing right now. What do? We already used the effect of the Boot Sector launch. Banishing for Collapsed Serpent. Chaos Space. Returning a banished monster back to draw 1. Into another Chaos Space. That does not work out. Dark is here. I mean, why are we even trying? Collapsed Serpent, searching for a Wyvern Burster, burning for 2100 damage. We're only allowed 1 more monster effect. That's it. Sharnga banished because we control the Silver Wind, pop in the Dark. He activated the Dark because why not? Searching for Leveneer, and you can't even activate Leveneer. Wait, he could have. Oh, no, he couldn't have, because if he tried to destroy them, the Blackfeather Whirlwind would protect them from destruction. Oof! So Leveneer does not activate to summon, it activates on summon to destroy cards. The Blackfeather Whirlwind protects from destruction. As you attempt to destroy 2 of them, you then burn for 2100. You are dead. Good job, Earl GB. Runick Fountain, Curses, Max C. What you could do is chain another Runick card to block your curses so they don't get to draw. If you're really desperate at stopping the Max C. Not doing it. Okay. Again on summon, discarding the destruction, chaining the Hovness. Did we draw in a Hovness? What did we draw into? Where does it say the draw? Am I out of my mind? Summoned, Max Seed, special summon, draw. It doesn't show what they drew. Another Max C. Okay. Hovness, mill 3. And with the mill 3, we milled a Sharon. We're going to be using the Runick Fountain to return 3 back into the deck, draw 3, and let's go. I got completely mixed up on that Maxi trying to draw. What the hell? Now, we got Field Spell searching for Sharon. This is a Punk Tearlament deck versus a Runick Tearlament deck. Chaining Maxi to the Hovness. Yes, Tear Runick. Come forth and summon. Mill 3, milling a Shadow Beast to draw 1. Does Runick Tear defeat Tear? Slumber is going to make the Hovness not able to attack and indestructible, triggering the field spell to return 3, draw 3. Boxy Tune, discarding itself plus another card to come forth and summon the Deer Note. That does trigger the Merlee with the discard of the Foxy Tune. We're going to Kelbeck activate to spin back the Deer Note and chain Super Polymerization. Poly it up into a Dragostapelia, which could reduce a monster to level 1 and negate its effects. Runick Tear is very evil. This is the evil of evil. Lesser evil is anything but this, but I commend Osseal for playing this. We have Kid Cal is here, triggering the field spell to pop the opposing Runick Fountain. We don't have a Runick card to chain, summon, protect our Runick Fountain from destruction. We have Bestial to stop the fusion summon. We have Dragostapelia to negate the search with Kit Kalos, also negating its additional effect to send itself to the graveyard to then mill 5 and summon a Tearlament. So very good negate on the Dragostapelia. If we have a way to get rid of the Dragostapelia, then it's no longer negating the Kit Cow. Lubellion sent itself to search for a Baldrake. Sharon, discard a card to come forth and summon. Milling 3 off of that. We now have a Shuffler in the graveyard. We have Chaos Ruler. Mill 5, add a light and dark, or dark among those 5 cards. Ooh, getting the Shinobi Necro in the graveyard, which combos up with the Chaos Ruler to banish it to then summon a Baron de Floor. Is too much. Wow. Oh, Runick scoops it up. We scooping. Rhino is going to eat that Ash. So if you are going to combine 2 different decks, you want to combine 2 decks that maybe get hit by Ash a bit. So then one part gets hit by Ash, the other part is going to be good to summon Hug and search for Field Spell, which is normally when you would Ash. Hug in, discard, grab it up. So this is not bad. Even with us getting max seed, we got the setup for Runick. We're going to use the Slumber onto our Hug in, banishing off the top of the deck. A limited to 1 Shuffler is now gone as we draw 3. Very well done. Flash Fire activatable to get poppin'. Pop a special summon is what we're going to do. Lubellion searching for a Ball Drake. We're going to do the Ogre Dance searching for the Seaman. Summon it, activate, -600, searching for the Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune can trigger the effect of a Tearlament that we discard to summon a Punk from the deck. Chain the Max C, and we have nothing for it. It's fair. You max seed me, I max see you. Come forth, Deer Note from the deck, Rhino activating, discarding a Sulliek, and the Maxi like bugs out the game. It like flashes the card screen. Konami, I know you're watching. Please fix that. We have Sharon being sent to the graveyard, Hovness being searched. Activate, chain the Kelbeck. Since a card was sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, we could summon it, spinning back a special summon monster back to the hand. Fusion Shokaning into our Kaleido. Kaleido on summon will spin a card on the field back into the deck. Freezing Curses could negate. Destruction can negate the field spell also. So negate the spin and negate the pop. Trying to pop itself to then resummon to then send a Tearlament from the deck to the graveyard to then fusion summon. It's all been stopped. And we are banned. These are the banish pile on the top right here. Lots of cards banished. Scooping it up. Ooh. You max seed that. I know you got max seed also, to be fair. But yeah, surviving a turn 1 max C. That's what Runick tier do. We have max C. We have Ash. We have Ash to stop the max C. So no max C happening in here. Seaman searching for the tune. Deer Note is attempting to summon itself onto the field. Ash is going to negate the max C, discarding the Fox. We're going to negate the field spell from searching for a Tearlament. We're now going to make Chaos Ruler. Mill the top 5, add a light or dark among those 5 as the Deer Note reborns a level 8 monster from the graveyard to make a zombie vampire with. With those 5 cards, we're going to grab Lubellion. Kelbeck Mill 5 for both players. Activating our Merly, Sulliek, it's searching. We're going to use Mudora to shuffle back the Merly, stopping the fusion summon. I do not think so. Our fusion summon will, of course, resolve into a Kick Cow. We have Hovness to chain to the Kick Cow Mill 3 as we search for a Merly of our own. Rhino Heart being milled off the Hovness is going to send from the hands of the graveyard a Harpy, adding back the Sulliek, activating the Rhino to send a Hovness, activating to fusion summon. We're going to be returning back into the deck to make our Kick Cow. Kick Cow sending a Sharon from the deck to the grave to now make a Kaleido Hearts. On summon, spin a card on the field back into the deck. Goodbye to the Kick Cow, triggering the field spell to wipe up a monster on the field. Now, we're going to be discarding, searching for a Magna Hut, summon the Lubellion by tributing over the Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler banishing from the hand and graveyard to resummon itself back onto the field. Regain, returning a banished monster back on the deck to draw 1. Top 4 cards of both players' decks. Summon a monster among the 4 cards milled off your opponent. And we did not summon one from the opponent. We summoned from our own 4 cards instead. Beatrice sending an Agito. Agito Mill 5 for both players. Sulliek searching for a Sharon. Keldo activating to shuffle back the opposing shuffler back in the deck so that we could safely Sharon Mill 3 into a random Merly plus trigger Rhino Heart to come forth and summon. Returning back in the deck to make a Kaleido Heart. Bro, you know it's not turn 2, right? Like you can't lethal on turn 1. What are you doing? This is crazy. End the turn. Okay. So Beatrice could trigger Kaleido to spin a card in the field back into the deck. It's quite interesting that they don't have a Rukal turn 1. What is going on? Well, we could probably fix that right now as we summon a Rukal with the Beatrice. triggering the field spell to pop the Sharon. Sharon to fuse with the Havnis for a Kit Cal, send a Tear, make a Dragostapelia, right? No, searching for Havnis, which is not even activatable because we have full monsters on the field. Merely, mill 3 into the Hav. We're going to be negating the Havnis with the Rukal. Since you can't destroy a monster in the graveyard, the Rukal does not have to send. Runick tip, searching for the Smiting Storm. 13 cards left in their deck. Regained, returning the banished monster back in the deck to then draw 1. Smiting Storm is not going to be banishing all this many cards in the field, which would have been crazy. Instead, we're going to summon a Gary. Gary on summon is going to add back the Runick Fountain. We're going to link this off into Elf. Elf is going to reborn the Hyperia to draw 1. And we did not draw into our Runick card, which I think is what we desperately needed. Otherwise, we were going to scoop it up. Alrighty, we are in. We're going to be summoning Merly, mill 3. Holy moly, more Tear. I'm so sorry. We're going to ×2 this up. We have permanent negate a monster, negate a special summon, turn off the graveyard. They're going to super poly in the draw phase before they could even activate the Dweller. Is that correct? Yeah, he did not miss on the opportunity to use Dweller. Turn player has priority to activate the first card after their draw. The first thing they could do it. Mudora is going to get spinning back. We're going to be chaining Fairy Tale Snow to all of that. Caldo is going to attempt to spin back not just their own Dweller and Crime, but the Fairy Tale Snow attempting to be summoned. Be gone, Snow. Let's now resolve all of this up. Spin back in the deck. Goodbye to the Rukal. Rukal's attempting to resummon after being sent to the graveyard for the Super Poly. Rhino is going to be triggering the Havnis to summon and mill 3. Also triggering the Scream to mill an additional 3. Sharon activating the Fusion Summon. We do have a Bestial to stop that Fusion Summon. Activating the Mood Dragon to call Dark so that the newly summoned kick count cannot be targeted by the effect of Sulliek to negate it. You're not going to even summon the kick count because we're going to banish it instead. Our mill 3 wasn't very good. Goodbye to our field spell. We're going to be chaining Havnis to your Elf. Elf is going to be reborning our Merly to mill 3. And now we're going to make our own Dweller. Dweller is here. Duel will be activating to make it so your graveyard cannot activate. Sulliek is going to negate the negate, but the Heartbeat Mate is going to stop the negate. Fairy Tale Snow before it's illegal to activate. This is the final moment to come forth and summon. Goodbye to Sulliek. Dweller not negated. Your graveyard cannot be activated. Crime being sent to the graveyard by card effects activating to add back a banished Tearlament as the Fairy Tale Snow flips down the Dwell. No Zeus play for you. Super Poly number 2 is going to fuse up into our own Kit Cal. Kit Cal grabbing the Merly, send itself, plus summon the Merly. We're going to be milling 8. You have a Pankratops in your deck? What the? We're now going to make a Sprind. Sprind on summon's going to send a Merly. Merly's going to activate Fusion Shokan into Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart on summon's going to spin back the Snow back in the deck. We're going to use the Rainbow Bridge to grab our Crystal Beast and Field Spell. Field Spell, come to me, Havnis. Set the Crime, and we going into battle, wiping out the Elf. The Crime will be able to negate anything, and then you're going to be in big trouble because if any card gets shuffled back in the deck, the Field Spell will get poppin'. If an Aqua hits the graveyard, then the Kaleido is going to be spinning. Sprint could detach from a face-down Exceed. Keck, wait! Of course it can. Detach a material from an Exceed monster you control. All right, yeah, huh. That's interesting. I feel like, is there a card that says like, let's say a card says if your opponent controls an Exceed monster, burn them for 1,000 damage. So if their Exceed is face down, do they lose 1,000 damage because they control an Exceed? I guess according to this, I mean, we still control the material, but do we control an Exceed if it's face down? Interesting. All right, that was a huge issue in the TCG, that ruling. How did they rule it? All right, set Sulliek and Scream, which are both dead if you don't have a Tearlament on the field. No mill, no negate. Merly mill 3, mate. Snow is now randomly milled. Banish 7 to come forth and Shokan. And we're not flipping. We're going to keep you face up so I can deal more damage to you. Get smacking, get popping, get bopping. And let's main phase 2, link this off into the Elf. Elf will be able to reborn the Merly during the opponent's turn, triggering the Merly to mill 3, to then trigger the Kaleido, to then trigger a fusion, to then trigger the field spell, to then trigger a pop. We're going to mill our 3 and do exactly as I said. The Rhino's going to be sending the Havnis, and the Kaleido's going to spin a card in the field back into the deck. We are targeting the set Sulliek to go back to now use with our Foolish Burial Goods, so thank you very much for that play. Now we have Grapha Dragon Overlord, which can negate the Foolish Burial Goods or a monster effect. Scream searching for the Sulliek, which we could have sent with the Foolish Burial Goods. Keck, wait. And then, I mean, we stopped our own play, and we ended our turn because of that. All right, let's go. Not that we really could have done anything, because the Dragon Overlord would have been able to negate a Sharon if you were to search it, and the Sharon does not get destroyed. It stays in the hand, so no fusion summon off of that. Too much. Rhino Chain Havnis did not mill any Tearlament Fusers. So that is going to be the only disruption we have left. We're done. Now we're going to fully cook up. Kick Gal, grab the Merly. Let's pay attention to the turn player's graveyard here. Are we actually activating Nagito? Yes, we are. What the hell are we doing? Mill 5 for both players. We do have a Shuffler to stop all of the nonsense they are doing. Their Shuffler will also stop our nonsense that we're doing. Double the Shuffler. The Shufflers are both limited to 1, so only 2 each. Now we are going to be activating Havnis to Fusion Shokan. They have a monster on the field, so our Bestial could stop the Fusion Shokan. We have the Salvation searching for a Crystal Beeson field spell. Quite nuts. We are now going to Bestial attempt to banish the Fairy Tale Snow. Fairy Tale Snow is going to banish 7 to come forth and summon. The Kaleido is going to spin the Snow back in the deck. 0 cards left in the graveyard. As the Elf reborns a Max C, and yes, that was on purpose. Leave them early in the graveyard so the Elf could reborn it. Field spell. This is our first opportunity to activate the Elf to reborn the Merly to mill 3, which now makes the Triple Tactics talent activatable. Grabbing a Sharon. Let's see what we mill. We mill a Snow and a Sharon to Fusion Shokan with. Come forth into Rukal. Untargetable, but the TTT does not target. Yoinking the Rukal. We have a Scream on the summon of the Rhino, triggering the Scream to mill 3 and send a Tear from the deck to the grave. We're going to use the Rukal to negate the Fairy Tale Snow with 7 cards left in the graveyard still. Bestial Sereneer is going to stop the Fusion Shokan. Sharon discard Merely mill 3 to come forth and summon to double trigger double Fusion Shokan into a Kit Cow, which we could use Impermanence on. Into Grapha, which could negate the Impermanence, so you could use the Sulliek instead. Sulliek cannot be negated by Grapha. Negate, as I said. Chain Sulliek to negate the negate. I do not think so, mate. Negate. Now, the Merly has not activated to Fusion Shokan yet, so we're going to be able to fuse with that Merly being sent to the graveyard after this chain is over. Come forth, come to me. Into Moo Dragon. Moo Dragon will protect water monsters from being targeted. All right, so Moo Dragon's got double target protection, Elf and itself. Not that it's relevant. Goodbye to Moo Dragon. Fairy Tale Snow, banishing until we have 3 cards left in the graveyard to come forth and summon and flip a monster on the field face down. Flipping down the Sharon, which stops a rank 4 Exceed. We are going to then, with the Sereneer, send a Druiswarm from our deck to the grave. Can't use that evenly matched this late into the duel, mate. We are making Abyss Dweller, which is going to be perfect for turning off the graveyard and making a Zeus to wipe everything. Preempting the Sulliek to... why did we do that? Are you what, mate? What? You what, mate? Zeus? Wipe the field, nothing can activate. You do not get your Kick Cow, no Sulliek Search, no Tearlament activations, nothing. You have nothing, but I also have nothing. You have a Beast King. Okay, very good. 1 and 1. We are going to Rhino Heart, send from the deck to the grave, Druid Swarm, activate to banish. So, you know, like Cross Duel, for example. No content creator could make content off of that and make a living. Dead subreddit. And I could see the analytics off my website that no one was using the site for the game. So, yeah, and it's being shut down. Rhino Heart, come to me. Serenir. Caldo gets spinning. Stop the summon, stop the fusion, stop it all. Grab in the Sharon with the Sulliek, discard to mill 3. We are going to make the Dark. Dark could steal a Dark monster from the opponent's graveyard, stealing a Magna Hut to gain the effect of the Magna Hut unless we already activated this turn. Sprint, send a Merly from the deck to the graveyard, activate the Merly to then get fusion summoning into our Kit Cow. Kit Cow searching for the Scream. Scream with the Kit Cow. We're going to be sending the Sprint to summon the Rhino to mill 3. Now we're going to be using the Fairytale Snow to banish 7 to come forth and summon, flipping down the Druid Swarm to make a rank 4 exceed Abyss Dweller. Why didn't we activate the Magna Hut unless you're not playing Bestials? That's, I guess, yeah. You're not playing Bestials, sure. Dwell in the draw phase to play around the Triple Tactics talent, only activatable if they activate a monster during the main phase. We have the Reinforcement of the Army for the Rhino Heart, flipping up the Druid Swarm, big enough to just swing over the Kit Cow, does not activate if destroyed by battle. Being sent to the graveyard for the Lubellion. Lubellion does not activate in the graveyard, so it can be summoned even with Dweller activating to turn off the grave. We're going to special summon the Assault Synchro, making a level 10 Synchro, Baron to floor, which will be an Omni Negate plus pop any card on the field mate. The Scream is dead, the Crime is dead, it's all dead. We're making our own Dweller. What the Dwell? Fairytale Snow. I think Baron to floor is going to have to negate the flip, or we could negate it being summoned because there's no... It doesn't have enough cards to re-summon itself. Only 2 cards left in the graveyard. Very good. If there were more cards, then I think we would have had to maybe do something. Well, I mean, it wouldn't matter. It's summoned, you negate it, flip, and then it goes back to the graveyard, it re-summons. We are going to use the Baron to floor to return itself back to the extra to summon the Magna Hut to search in the end phase for another Bestial. That is the surrender. Tear, so much tear today. Oh! Call by the Grave, banishing to stop the Ash. I do not think so. You're not stopping me from searching. Now what do? We have Rhino Heart going to be negated and shuffled back into the deck you go, triggering the Hobness being discarded by the Crime to fusion Shokan into a Grappa Dragon. Holy evenly match. We are going to negate the evenly match by discarding the Magna Hut, but the Mad Lad has a second copy. Double evenly match, double banish the entire field but 1. This dude's on the 3rd Max C already. Triple Max C. Kit Cow has no tier to send itself to the graveyard for to summon. Oh my Jesus, what a top deck. Ripping into the field spell, searching for the Rhino Heart, sending the Hobness, activating to chain the Max C, being negated by the Ash. And let's see what we do from here. We are going to fuse into our Kit Cow, activating to search our deck for a Sulliek. We are bigger than the opposing Kit Cow, so simply swinging over it will not trigger its effect. We add the Sulliek to negate any card in the field, plus mill 5 after that negate. Scream is dead. You have to have a Tearlament to mill 3 on the summon of a monster. We have our own Scream, 2800 to the face. This is not looking good. Oh boy, Meta Noise dead. You need a tier to activate it. That's why the evenly match is so good, because the back row doesn't work unless you control tier. We are returning back to the deck to make Grappa again. And just like that, lethal damage. Rhino, send the Hob, get Fusion Shokanen into our Kit Cow. Kit Cow coming to me, Merly, send itself, plus summon the Merly to mill 8 total. Send 3, send 5. We are not activating our Kel back to mill 5 for both players, even though we have a Shuffler in the grave. We have Kaleido here, searching for a Crime. Crime's going to be able to negate anything like an evenly matched. Also got Super Poly support. That is good. We're going to be using Keldo to discard Kelbeck to come forth and special summon, triggering the mill 5. But we're going to negate Kelbeck. Okay, that was interesting. Banish Kelbeck to negate Kelbeck. And Sharon is now going to be discarding the Shadow Beast to draw 1 and mill 3. And we are going to Sulliek search for a monster. Heartbeat, add back the Sulliek. Super Poly is going to be fusing up with the field. We can't fuse with our Kaleido. We're going to fuse with the opposing Sharon into our Kit Cow. Kit Cow will be activating to search or send a Tearlament. We do have a Shuffler to stop the fusion activation of the Sharon. Are we going to stop it though? Kaleido is going to spin back the Keldo. Merly activating to fuse. We're going to chain the Keldo to spin back the Merly and the Mudora, but we're going to chain the Mudora to stop the Sharon from fusion summoning. Perfect. All right, let's speed this up. Bestial Baldrake, banishing the Merly that was going to be shuffled back anyway. Adding a Hovness with the effect of the Kit Cal, making a Dark. Dark could steal a Dark monster from the opponent's graveyard, but there is none to steal. So Magna Hut during the end phase is going to come forth and summon to activate to search for another Bestial, but it's going to be negated by the Ash. We have a dead Sulliek, and we're in big trouble. Kit Cal, send the Kaleido, resummon the Kaleido Mudora, shuffle back the Kaleido unless the Crime negates, which you can't negate because we do not have a monster in the hand. Triple Tactics talent to take control, and just like that, that is the scoop. Let's hop into game 3. Fenrir banned on release. Mudora, the Explorer, activatable while on the field to spin 3 cards from either player's graveyard back on the deck. Chain Hovness to the Rhino Hearts. Let's go. Chat thinks Fenrir to 2. Yeah. Kelbeck, because a card was milled from the opponent's deck, is going to come forth and summon and spin back the Hovness that was special summoned that triggered the Kelbeck. Chaining Ash to negate the Kit Cal. Kit Cal's other effect is not negated though. We're going to chain Super Poly to the Max C, so they draw 1 less card as we make a Garura. This 1500 attack is doubled when dealing battle damage, so it looks like we're going to be setting up for lethal. We're going to be using the Mudora to shuffle back the Fusion Shokan play. Mudora is going to be activating to shuffle back your cards also. Now, we are going to make the Sprind. Sprind on summon, send a Merly. Merly activate Diffusion Shokan, returning back on the deck for our Kaleido Heart. To battle we go, 3,000 damage with the Garura, 3k with the Kaleido, not enough for lethal damage. At the end of the battle phase, getting evenly matched, banishing everything but the Kaleido Heart. Banishing for the Bestial to activate and search for a Bestial during the end phase. And Klek is now screwed. Holy moly. Druid Swarm, banishing the opposing Druid Swarm to come forth and summon. If sent to the graveyard, it could spin the Keldo to the graveyard, but then the Keldo will activate to reborn. But we could use Ash to negate the Kaleido. Ooh, and then we could steal Kaleido with the Dark. That is nuts. Let's go. It's so rare for, I think, Kaleido to get Ashed, because usually Ash gets used on something else. Yoinking the Kaleido. Your Kaleido is now mine. Making the Sprint, send the Merly get Fusion Summoning. We got 4,400 damage on the field so far. Bump that up to 67 as we grab the Rhino. Send the Sprint, summon the Rhino, 6,800 damage. Fusion Shokan into another Kaleido. Double Kaleido, over 8,000 damage. And with that said, we are now advancing to the top 4. All right. Top 4, tier versus tier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Grabbing the Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart is going to be met with a Hovness to summon and mill 3, triggering our own Hovness being sent to the graveyard. Keldo's going to spin it back into the deck, stopping the Fusion Summon. We're going to be using our own field spell to pop our Rhino to then resummon it, discarding the Sharon from our hand. The Sharon from our hand is going to activate to Fusion Summon as the Kelbeck spins the Rhino to be banished since it can't go back to the hand since it was summoned for the grave. And now we got a Mood Dragon. Keck freaking wait. That was great. The Kelbeck getting rid of the Rhino so that you couldn't fuse with it, and it gets banished instead of going back to the hand so you can't fuse with it. Well, that was very well done. We are going to be screaming into a Sulliek and then exceeding into a Bagooska. We're bagooing. Bagooska could easily get negated by the impermanence. All non-link monsters are stuck in defense and negated. Imperm negating the Bagoo right now, so we could Foolish Burial, send the Beast to draw 1. Normal summon our Mudora going into battle. We're going to use the Sulliek to negate the Mudora. Yeah, okay, you know, there's a couple things here. Not that you should have done this, but you could chain Mudora to being negated and the card does not get sent to the graveyard, does not activate. But then even then, when it gets sent to the graveyard and activates, you could use Mudora to shuffle it back to stop the fusion summon, which we're also not doing. But you know that looking in their graveyard, they have no Aqua monsters. So you're making the gamble that they have no Aqua in the hand, and the gamble pays off because they're not making a Kit Kalos. They're making another Moo Dragon. Moo and a Moo. Goodbye, Bagoo. This is an awkward duel. What the heck is going on? Merely on summon, going to mill 3, get negated by the Ash. Okay, both tiers bricking. We now have triple tactics talent. Draw 2 has been selected. Come to me. We're gonna make the sprint, send the Merly, but the Mudora can negate the fusion summon. Maybe, wait, his Mudora is negated for some reason? Did we call by the grave a Mudora? Oh, it's perma-negated with the Sulliek. Might be. Couldn't we have swung Mudora into Moo Dragon to get it in the graveyard? Yeah, we could have done that if we wanted to protect it from Sulliek negate. So should we have done that? We are going to Havnis summon, and we're going to be grabbing our Scream, triggering the effect of the Rhino to come forth and summon, sending a Tearlament card from the deck to the grave. All right. Yeah, rank 4 exceeding also good. Swing in or exceed just to, you know, get it into the grave. Or I think someone also said earlier, Moo Dragon could have called Earth before they would want to use Sulliek to negate the Moo Dragon. We are going to be sending the Kit Cal. Does Moo Dragon stop Kit Cal target itself? Your opponent cannot target the monsters on the field with the same attribute as this card. So if you call, you know, it's Earth right now. That's kind of funny. If this was Dark, then Kit Cal could not target itself, but it could target the Rhino Heart to summon. If there was another Tearlament to summon. Okay, we have Kaleido. Spin back the field spell, and this is pretty much over. The Mudora situation was quite weird. Getting negated by the Sulliek, and then not being able to activate to stop all of these plays that just happened. Shokan into the Dweller, which will be turning off any potential follow-up plays. We're going to be scooping this up. Dweller right away in the draw phase, and we have the out for the impermanence, and it also plays around triple tactics talents. Good job. Scream into Rhino, trigger the Scream to randomly mill the Kel deck, and the Havnis in the graveyard is going to be negated by the Bestial by banishing it, stopping the fusion summon. I say negate, but it's not really negate. It does stop the fusion though. For a lot of people watching the stream for the first time, I'm so sorry that you are now watching a ton of tier versus tier mirror matches. I promise it has not been like this on the previous tournaments. Today was the day for everyone to play tier. Why? All right, Magna Hut, and triggering the Scream, mill 3, Merly mill 3, triple tactics talent, taking control of the Magna Hut, making a Beatrice, which could send any card from our deck to the graveyard. We're gonna be sending a Havnis activating the Fuse, fusing with our monster on the field to make our Kit Cal. Kit Cal on summon, searching for the Scream. Scream is gonna allow us to mill 3 and reduce the opponent's field by 500. Summoning the Rhino, activate the Kit Cal. We're gonna mill 8 total, plus send any tier from the deck to the grave. That's gonna be Sharon, which will activate to Fusion Shokan into our Root Kalos. Got 5,500 damage on the field. Now we have 7,500. Linking this off into Dark. Dark's going to steal a Dark monster from the opponent's graveyard. Come to me, Magna Hut. Activate to search during the end phase for a Dragon, banishing for the Druid Swarm. And that should be enough damage for lethal. Finish them up. That is a 2-0 victory. All right. We're going first. Dealing with a Hovness and an Ash. Okay. Ash is going to negate the Sudri Search. And yeah, the thing is, like, if you small world banish the Sudri, if you go into the Simoon, you don't have another Blackwing to banish. So that really does suck. But the Ash being used on the Sudri means the Max C is free to not be negated. That's the upside. Sudri eat the Ash, and then the Max is good. Merlee is going to get a Fusion Chokon in. How much are we playing into the Max C? We're not going to try to lethal, are we? Searching for Sulik. That's pretty slow. That's good. Taking it slow. Simoon needs to draw another Blackwing. We really need it. Come on. Another Blackwing and we're good. Yes, double Simoon. We are in. Simoon, grab the Black Whirlwind, summon, trigger the Black Whirlwind, grab an Sudri. Sudri could be negated by the Sulik, but we still have a Black Whirlwind Search. Vata is probably the card that they're going to want to negate instead than the Sudri, but we'll see what the Kit Cow mills. Also Chainlink blocking the Hovness by putting Black Whirlwind on Chainlink 2. Very well done. We are going to, oh no, why? Kelbeck, Agido, aren't these cards limited to one? Semi-limited, why? And has a shuffler for the Zephyros? What the hell was that? Okay, I don't know how Blackwings could play through that. It's like tier 0 tier if they get to their shufflers and milling. Mill 10 and have a shuffler. Are you sure this deck got hit? What's going on, Konami? It's been how long of tier? It's been like, has it been like 6 months already of this deck just dominating? I feel like this year has flown by because of tier. Tier has ruined my year. Boreas Storm on summon. We're going to trigger the Black Feather to reborn a monster from the graveyard. Boreas Storm is going to send a monster from the deck to the grave. Oh man, we were like chainlink blocking, then we did not chainlink block the Hovness for this. Unfortunately, we could have blocked it. And then whatever we're summoning with the Black Feather is also being returned back in the deck anyway, so the Black Feather is no good. The Borea is sending the Zephyros though, which the Vato is negated from doing, right? And we are now going to be going into the Kit Cow. Kit Cow could send a monster from the deck to the graveyard, which will be triggering a Fusion Chokon to go into a Dragostapelia. Drago is here, ready to reduce a monster to 1 and negate its effects. Mudora shuffling back the Zephyros back of the deck as we're recycling the use of the Black Feather Whirlwind. We have a level 10 Synchro with the Black Feather Whirlwind to then resummon a monster back in the field, and now we have no Synchro. Our level 10 Synchro turned into a level 5. We don't have a good level 5. That's it. Huh? Huh? What was that? Are you kidding me? You can't top 4th and set Zephyros. Ash, negate the Foolish. Hey, that actually stops them. Okay, it worked. It actually worked. Now, get ready for a big play. We have Black Feather Whirlwind plus a Synchro to reborn the Tuner. Surely we have something. Draco Berserker is actually really good against tier. If they activate Sharon, you banish it, and there's no summon, there's no mill, there's no discard, there's nothing. It's great. Oh, but he got baited. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Damn. It's like, I guess if he, you know, if we call this bait, is it good bait, though? You summon Druistorm, you swing Druistorm in, it still sends Draco Berserker to the graveyard, so technically, the Druistorm, in a way, is an out to the Draco Berserker. Only because we could see the hand, does this look bad? But I get, you know, I agree with the banishment. I would say so. The Druistorm's too good. But then, oh my Jesus, Sharon, top deck Sharon, milling 6 cards. Merlee is going to get stopped by the Bestial, so we're still okay. And the Chinook states that if you control a Dark Synchro, you can negate a monster in the field. So we're cooking. We're fine. We are great. This is not even a problem. We have a negate. We still have our banish. Oh boy. Meta Noise could flip down our Draco Berserker. Ooh. Which turns off the Chinook. but the Druiswarm is still activatable to banish the Sharon from the grave. Yes, so we're okay. Activating the fuse. Druiswarm. Ooh, this is good. This is great. But the Scream is now going to mill 3. And if it randomly mills something great, we're going to be pissed. Uh-oh. And it milled a Merly. No freaking way. You can't even activate the Chinook until our monster flips back up. It's not flipping up. It's face down. It's now gone. We could link this off, right? Oh no. Caldo is going to spin back the Zephyros. Is Chinook a tuner? It is not. What the hell? Okay. Oh, geez. I mean, what do we do? Was there a way to get the Druiswarm in the graveyard? I don't think we play any links. I mean, we could swing the Druiswarm in, but then it comes back out during the damage step, which not only can the Bestial not activate in the damage step, it also can't activate because they don't have a monster on the field. So we needed a way to get Keldo in the grave while they have a monster on the field so that we could Bestial banish it. Not possible. Snow on summon, flipping down the Druiswarm, triggering the Scream, which if it mills an Aqua, that will trigger the Kaleido. Milling, Calbeck. Why is that card semi-limited and not limited to one or banned? What the heck is going on? This is unfreaking believable. Wow, just like that. Just Chainlink 4 from our graveyard because Tearlaments. Keldo gets spinning. I don't think so. Let's go. This is just too much. Stop. He's already dead. The Blackwing dream. The dream. Adding a Sharon off of the Sulik. Sulik also being added through the effect of the Scream. Or I should say the Crime added back to the Sharon, that is. 4850 to the face. Sulik being able to negate anything, plus the Scream reducing. Vatah's pretty good. Chinook is going to preemptively negate the Keldo. So we're going to mill 3, and it's not going to be triggering the Kaleido to be able to... Did I say Keldo? I mean Kaleido, to be able to spin a card in the field back. But the Sulik is... It could have sent the Kaleido to then resummon it. Vatah is now negated. The Bahamut would have been able to banish the Kaleido from coming back onto the field, so I think that's why we want to keep it on the field. Banishing for Fairy Tale Snow. Snow on summon, flipping down the Vatah, triggering the Necro to come forth and summon onto the field after being banished from the grave. In attack position. Oh my Jesus. The BM Necro in attack position. Earl GB. Why? Why? Welcome to the grand finale. Hajime. Going into the grand finale, what are the best decks? Well, the tier list says tier is the best by about 25% of the total top in decks. Click on tier, we got the breakdown of how it's played. We got the best Tearlament decks right here. A ton of them playing Grapha, even one playing Runick. Now let's start off with our turn 1 play, which is going to be met with a Rhino Heart chain Scream to it to play around a Hovness in the hand. It's a subtle detail, but it matters. We have Punk in our deck. Very cool. We have a Shuffler also. Now, the Sharon being sent to the graveyard activating a fuse is going to be stopped by the Bestial Magna Hut. I do not think so. It will also be activating a search for a Bestial during the end phase. We're chaining Hovness to its effect, to search, to summon and mill 3. And we're chaining the Ash Blossom to negate the Max C. Very well done. Let's see what we randomly mill at the top right of the screen. Randomly mill in a Sharon that already activated, so that's no good. Since the opponent also milled, the Calbeck's going to special summon from the hand, spinning back a special summon monster to make a Time Thief Redoer with a Rhino Heart under it, but there's no card in the hand to use the effect of the Rhino Heart. So effectively, what is this field? Redoer's not going to be doing anything unless it steals a good monster, or I should say a good trap, because then it could spin a card face up back in the deck. The Scream, if they normal summon, special summon, the Scream will activate to mill 3. It's all up to that. Oh, we could have taken the impermanence. Now we're going to imperm negate the Redoer. Negate. Wow. Okay. Completely negate. Bestial Lubellion, discarding to grab a Bestial. Normal summon the Mudora, triggering the screen to mill 3, not milling any Tearlaments. We're going to attempt to summon our Bestial by banishing a monster from the opponent's graveyard, but we're going to chain the Kaldo to shuffle it back in so you don't get to summon. We're going to chain our other Bestial to banish it anyway, chaining our third Bestial to banish another card. So double Bestial is here. The Bestial beat down. Goodbye to the Lubellion, unfortunately. The Shinobi Necro summoning itself onto the field. Beatrice with 2 level 6 monsters could send any card from your deck to the grave. That's going to be a Havnis. Havnis is going to activate to Fusion Shokan. Returning back, should we have waited with our Kaldo for them to Fusion Summon before spinning back? Abyss Dweller is here with our Scream, only activatable if we have a Tear on our field. Goodbye to the Necro, goodbye to the monster. Oh, we're no Zeus, okay. The Beatrice will be able to send a Tear from the deck to the grave. We're going to be using the Dweller before the standby phase, before the Redoer is able to take a card off the top of the deck, sending an Agito from the deck to the grave instead of a Tearlament. So while your graveyard's turned off, both players are now going to mill 5. Let's go, let's go. Mill 5, activate the Scream, and we did not mill any Tearlament Fusion trigger. That's a big deal. Okay, so they really wanted that Rhino to be milled, but instead stole the Rhino off the top of the deck after milling 5. Oof, that is some bad luck. Agito mill 5 not hitting a Tear. Now we're going into our Zeus. Zeus and getting our Mudora into the graveyard. Sure. Our Sulliek, I should say our Scream's not activatable due to the Dweller. The Magna Hut, banishing during the end phase, searching for a Bestial Lubellion. Alrighty, ready? Lubellion, discarding to grab a Druid Swarm. Now, the Mudora is activating preemptively to spin back their own Dweller and Beatrice back into the deck. Now, we're going to be chaining our own Mudora, targeting your Lubellion, Assault Synchron, and Druid Swarm to shuffle those back in the deck. And then we're going to chain our Druid Swarm to banish your Baldrake to summon that from our hand. And with the Beatrice being shuffled back, you are going to want to Zeus the field before they summon the Beatrice to have the quick effect to then send a Tear and trigger a fusion. Smack them for 18. Druid Swarm being sent to the graveyard for the effect of the Zeus is activating to then send the Zeus. We have Sulliek ready and waiting to negate anything on the field and send Sharon to trigger a fusion. This is really good for Meta Man. Now, the Foolish Bearer of Goods normally sends a Sulliek, but Sulliek is limited to 1. So we're going to send Scream instead, searching for a Crime, which is not activatable unless we have a monster in hand plus a Tear on the field. Alrighty, ready. Foxy Toon. I mean, he knows that if he puts a body on the field, the Sulliek is going to go nuts. Merly mill 3, milling into a Fairy Tale Snow. We got 2,600 damage on the field. Magna Hut is going to activate to banish the Snow, chain the Snow again, banish another 7. 14 cards banished in one chain. That's right, Snow is not banned. Snow is here at 4450 damage. That is enough for lethal. Let's take this to a game 2. All right. You know, we made it to turn 8 for game 1. That's pretty good. What do we have here? Assault Synchron's pretty cool. If we send a card from our hand or deck to the graveyard, that could trigger the Kalback to spin a special summon monster back to the hand. Not going to be activating it, not spinning back the Sharon. The Rhino Heart is going to be reborn, sending a Sulliek. Sulliek will activate to search our deck for a monster, as the Rhino Heart also sends a monster from the deck to the grave. Grabbing the Hobness, which can activate if the opponent does not chain link block their monster effect in the field. Merly is going to be fusion summoning. Into our Kit Cal. Let's Kit Cal it up. Probably searching for a trap or a Scream here. We're grabbing the Scream. Scream will mill 3 on the summon of a monster while we control Tearlament. We got Time Thief Redoer. Redoer plus mill 3. This could be a good moment, a great moment to Kalback spin back the Kit Kals before it activates. Guess you gotta kind of play around that, right? You gotta think about it. Sharon is going to probably just resummon. No, not resummon the Kit Count and then use its effect to mill 5 and then summon another Tearlament. We're gonna go into Kaleido, spin back. So Redoer is back on the field. If you summon, I will trigger the Scream to mill 3. If I mill in Aqua, the Collider will spin a card in the field back into the deck, discarding the Assault Synchron, milling a Scream and a Sharon. Do we have a Shuffler? We do. We have double Shuffler. What the heck? And we're still not going to do it. We're not going to shuffle. All right? Because I think we're planning on the Kaleido being triggered off of our own Scream, which is not the case. Did not happen. We do have Havnis, though, chaining to the Kit Cal. And this is shocking. The Kaleido is now being spun back. We didn't even get to use it. Well, double Kelbeck making plays. Grabbing the Rhino with the effect of the Kit Cal. We're going to be using the effect of our Merly to Shokan into Kit Cal. Kit Cal could search or send a tier that will trigger the tier to then fuse with the Kit Cal to now make a Rukalos. The effect to negate a special summon is going to be mine. So Meta Noise, flip a monster face down, plus send a tier from the deck to the grave before they take control of the Rukalos. Okay, yep. And then whatever you send, I can negate with the Rukal I'm taking control of. Yoink! Activate! Negate with the Rukal. Gotcha. Very well done. Okay. And you don't send because the monster in the graveyard cannot be destroyed. So it's just a free negate. We're going to be sending the Havnis activating to be spun back on the deck by the Mudora, stopping the fusion summon. What does Redoer even have under it? If I could click on it, a Diviner, a nothing. It's got nothing. Dweller is here to turn off the opponent's graveyard, detaching the Kelbeck. Redoer is jumping off the field. Peacing out. Okay. Open field, 4,700 damage. We are Zeusing, not keeping the Dweller on the field. Why'd he peace out? Because the Rukal would probably be destroying it by battle anyway. We're going to Sulliek, get searching for a tier. Kit Cal, mill 5. What did we mill into? We have a Shuffler in our graveyard now. Okay. Agido being triggered off of you milling a card. And we don't want Agido to summon the Keldo from your graveyard, so we're going to shuffle it back. And now the Agido has nothing to summon. Works out. The Crime is dead. The Zeus does nothing. We have Havnis, which will activate off of the Redoer, which is this optional. During the standby, you could optionally trigger a Havnis in your opponent's hand for free. And you could optionally say no to your Havnis because I don't know why. Why did we say no? World Chain to right? No. Is your Havnis broken? Is this like called by the grave or something? Am I missing something? Why? You can't crime if you have no tier, so it's not there for the crime. Toggle off? Okay. Hey! We have Nissen now, we doing it. Mill 3, milling. Kelbeck. Are we actually Kelbecking? Activating Sulliek, activating Kelbeck, mill 5, and search for a tier. Did not mill a tier. Unfreaking believable. Wow. Redoer, wiping out the Havnis, activating the Zeus to equip a Foolish Burial Goods from the deck under it. Kit Cal sending itself to the graveyard to summon a Merly. That's going to activate the Merly and the Kit Cal to mill 8. Alrighty, ready? Are we going to be Zeusing of our own? We got a Lubellion in the graveyard. We actually did mill the Havnis on the final mill. 8 cards milled, the 8th card milled. Now Kaleido Heart is here on summon, spin a card on the field back into the deck. Goodbye to the Zeus as we make our own Zeus. I was playing on the TCG simulator and I spit out my cereal when my opponent put Zeus over their Zeus. They have more than one Zeus. Elf is going to reborn Merly. Snow banish 7, come forth and summon. And that's going to trigger the Shinobi Necro to summon after being banished from the grave. Making the Sprint on summon could send a Merly. Merly going to activate Diffuse. If a monster is special summoned, you could detach a material off of Zeus to then spin the card back. Would you actually want to be doing that? Probably not. Syncering with Runick into a Baron to floor, popping the Crime. Crime, if popped, has nothing banished to add back. Okay. We are good. We got quite the field here. Sharon, and we're going to chain Elf to the Sharon. Sharon's going to be discarding the Rhino. Milling 3, milling a Sharon. Baron to floor, negating. You had nothing to search for with Scream to chain link block the Sharon. You have Crime gone. You have Sulliek. And I guess you just play one of each, and that's it. I mean, you can only play one of the Sulliek. Negated. No chain link block. Goodbye to the Elf. Elf was protecting our monsters from being targeted. And let's get to it. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Zeus effect just for fun. Get swinging. 8, 14, 3K, 3K. Finish them off in the grand finale as we go to game 3. Game 3 finale. This is it. Sharon, discard a Diviner, mill 3, triggering the Hovness to get Fusion Shokanen. We do have a Kelbeck with a mistimed discard or mill. The Kelbeck will be making plays. We also have the Hovness chaining to the Kit Cal. I'm wondering, for any TCG players in the chat, was it ever correct to not activate Kit Cal to play around Hovness because it was played at 3? And trying to play around Hovness in hand? Because like this could be disastrous. So much could happen here. I think a common play that TCG players were doing is that they would always have the field spell, and then they would chain link one Kit Cal, chain link 2 field spell, pop their Kit Cal, and then Hovness can't activate. Merlee, get returning. Shokanen into Runick. Kit Cal is going to attempt to send itself. Runick is going to negate. Still sending it to the graveyard, but you don't get to summon the Tearlament. You do get to mill 5, and our Hovness also gets to fuse, but it doesn't because we're going to use Keldo to spin it back. Also spinning back the Keldo, which would stop whatever we are milling into from fusing. So we're forced to just use it. Wow, this worked out for Metaman. Very good for him, because now we're going to mill 5 and it's going to be protected. And boy, did we mill what we wanted. We got the Sharon, we got the Serenir, which could get a Lubellion into the graveyard, as you see right there. Sharon, Fusion Shokan, come to me into a Kit Cal. Kit Cal used all 3 of its effects already. Kelbeck quickly spinning it back in the deck. So much for Metaman doing so well this turn. From well to nothing. Holy moly, Sulliek dead. Imperm is usable. What the? Kelbeck stealing the game. Absolute madness. No freaking way. Runick for lethal. And that is the grand finale. If you enjoyed this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to support the videos. I greatly appreciate it. That's why we keep on doing it. Let's do it. Hajime. 109 players in the Meta Weekly. Holy moly, what is going on? Everyone's so excited to play Tearlament. 10 Tearlament. What the? That is just... What's going on? All right, Hot Rod with the Tear playing the Grapha build. Makes sense. Very good. All right, you see it. Let's move on. This is something interesting, though. Dark World, 40 cards clean, triple Allure of Darkness. Looking for anything interesting here. Charge into the Dark World. Target level 4 or lower fiend in your graveyard, special summon it, then discard a fiend. I think Gia was playing this back in the day. I'm not sure exactly. Playing the Eradicator Epidemic Virus with the Curious. Okay, very nice. Cool. And let's keep on going. We have Zayad with Heroes, 43 card Heroes. The Mad Lad loves Dynatag. All right. And then here is the extra deck. Let's keep on going. Shelmy was a Salamangre player, but the Tier is too irresistible to not play. So good job, Shelmy, playing the Grapha. Let's keep on going. Kid Arts with Dragon Thunders, Thunder Dragons. Thunder Dragon Bestial. Here's the extra. Here's the main. very quickly. Tearlament with the Luna Light way to play tier. Very nice. Lots of special summoning. Decked out someone who max-seed him, so that was nuts. We have Cock, 40 cards, tier, anything not standard, super standard tier. We have Dotar Napoli, Melfi Sprite. I'm thinking, you know, all these decks are going to have Fenrir in them, huh? All of them. Fenrir it up. Fenrir 2 to 3 in all these decks. We have Osseal. Osseal with Runick tier. The Mad Lad topped another tournament and then joined the Meta Weekly and topped this tournament also. Very well done. All right, there's the extra. There's the main deck. Then we have JC6492 with the 43 card deck. And look at the extra deck. Alrighty. Looking standard. And then we have Elephantis with a 40 card tier standard build. Besides, we have the Salvation and main decked red reboots, which is probably why Labyrinth is struggling to do very well, because of some Mad Lads still main deck and reboot. All right, chasing them out of the tournament. Klek 1 with tiers, standard tier. The tier is freaking everywhere. Earl GB with Blackwings. 40 card Blackwings, topped back-to-back top 4 of the Meta Weekly. Nuts. Thank you very much for playing out the top 4. Next time you're going to win it, right? The Ark Rebellion Exceed Dragon, do not sleep on it. It is insane. Let's keep on going. We have top 4 Big Hand with super standard tier in the main deck. Extra deck, all right. Looking good. Grapha's the way. And then your first place decklist Meta Man. Playing, we got the Foolish Barrel Goods, of course. Anything crazy. The Assault Synchron and Diviner. Nice touches to the deck. I like Assault Synchron. I think that's very cool. We got the Chaos Ruler, the Baron de Floor, making use of the Fairy Tale Snow. I know a lot of TCG players look at some of the tournament top and deck lists and go, why are they not abusing Chaos Ruler? Why are they not abusing Snow? So Meta Man knows the way. Good job. And then first place, Kyo, also playing Snow. We got Shinobi Necro. We got this teched out with Punk. We got the Punk engine. The E-Telly is semi-limited. What else is interesting here? We have the Chaos Ruler into the Baron de Floor with a little bit of a different way that we get into it than the previous deck list. So very nice. And hopefully, the next box does something. Is it going to do something? What do y'all think? Fenrir is just going to be put into Tearlament. Then nothing changes? I don't know. Like, what changes? Does anything change? So Tearlament got to add Grapha in their deck, and now they're just going to add Fenrir, and they're still just going to dominate? The ban list is the only thing that could save us.